In the shadow of ancient empires and modern superpowers, what price does a landlocked nation of 130 million pay for dignity versus survival? When does the quest for sea access cross from economic necessity into a spark that redraws the map of the Horn of Africa? And if Eritrea refuses to bend, while Ethiopia refuses to remain landlocked, who ultimately pays with blood and broken futures? When global chess pieces shift across distant lands, local struggles often become pawns in contests shaped far beyond their borders. Henry Kissinger once called rival superpowers two heavily armed blind men, stumbling through history while leaving destruction behind. There's no better place to see this paradox than the Horn of Africa today, especially now, as Ethiopia and Eritrea stand locked in a high-stakes standoff over sea access that threatens to reshape the entire region. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geopolitics at the Land of Origins. Today we explore a region where history, ambition, and uncertainty intertwine, a cradle of ancient civilizations now at the heart of modern geopolitical complexities. Every diplomatic gesture here echoes far beyond the headlines, carrying hopes, tensions, and the fragile future of millions. On May 11, 2026, a defining moment unfolded in Washington, D.C., when Ethiopia and the United States signed the bilateral structured dialogue framework. This wasn't just a ceremonial handshake, but a blueprint to deepen a partnership stretching over a century. The framework rests on three core pillars that respond to urgent regional needs: expanding economic prosperity through trade and investment, bolstering defense and security cooperation, and advancing peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. To ensure momentum, the agreement includes annual evaluations and high-level meetings alternating each year between Addis Ababa and Washington, D.C. Ethiopia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gideon Timotheos, and U.S. Undersecretary for Political Affairs, Alison Hooker, signed this historic document, signaling a shared commitment to long-term engagement. Not far from this ceremony, another symbolic event quietly hinted at subtle regional shifts. On May 7, 2026, the U.S. Embassy in Asmara celebrated 250 years of American independence, with Eritrea's Foreign Minister, Osman Saleh, as guest of honor. Such gestures suggest that even frozen diplomatic ties may be thawing, potentially opening doors that could influence Ethiopia's desperate push for sea access. For Ethiopia, one of the most pressing challenges remains access to the sea. Reports as of May 2026 reveal a complex diplomatic ballet involving the United States, Eritrea, Egypt, and Israel. The U.S. appears to be recalibrating its approach by seeking to lift sanctions on Eritrea, aiming to secure a stable Red Sea partner amid growing concerns over Iranian influence. Egypt has taken a central role in facilitating talks between Eritrea and the U.S., while Israel watches closely, mindful of security risks posed by Houthi attacks on regional shipping. Ethiopia's pursuit of port access, particularly targeting Eritrea's port of Assab, reflects economic necessity but also strategic urgency that could redraw the map of East Africa. Yet tensions run deep. Eritrea remains firm against Ethiopia's demands for sovereign access, guarding its ports as symbols of national pride and control. While ideas such as joint port management and U.S.-controlled transit corridors are on the table, trust is fragile. The scars from the 2018 peace deal collapse and the subsequent Tigray conflict have left Ethiopia-Eritrea relations strained and militarized, with troop buildups along shared borders. Eritrea won't bend, Ethiopia won't heal, the Horn is heading for trouble. Another high-stakes issue heightening regional tensions is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, fully commissioned in late 2025. The Nile's waters, so central to life in the region, have become a focal point of diplomatic struggle and national aspirations. In early 2026, the United States sought to step back into the mediation role it once held. Then presidential candidate Donald Trump publicly expressed willingness to restart negotiations aimed at responsibly resolving the question of Nile water sharing once and for all. Egypt and Sudan welcomed this renewed engagement, emphasizing the need for a legally binding assurance to protect their water security. The negotiations are expected to seek a delicate balance, guaranteeing predictable Nile flows during droughts for Egypt and Sudan, while allowing Ethiopia to harness hydropower from the dam, essential to its development. Ethiopia, however, remains cautious, preferring mediation led by the African Union and wary of perceived U.S. bias from previous talks. Behind these diplomatic moves lies a tangled web of regional contestations. Recent conflicts within Sudan, accusations of foreign involvement in drone attacks, and ongoing struggles in Tigray add layers of complexity. Djibouti's critical role as a trade gateway also shapes political power dynamics as Ethiopia grapples with maintaining access in a competitive neighborhood. Observers point to the emergence of an informal alliance, possibly involving Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan, and Egypt, seemingly designed to contain Ethiopia's regional influence. This ring of pressure underscores the fragile balance where local ambitions meet global strategy. Yet, through decades of upheaval, Ethiopia remains a cornerstone of regional stability. Its survival through war, sanctions, and political turbulence is seen by many as a testament to its sovereignty and resilience. Remarkably, diplomacy continues despite profound mistrust, highlighting a shared, if precarious, hope for peace. At the heart of this story flows the Nile, a river that has fed civilizations for millennia, and now symbolizes both promise and division. Will this ancient artery become a bridge connecting nations, or a fault line deepening conflict? This question touches on something far deeper than politics or power. It is about people, their daily lives, their dreams for peaceful coexistence, and the enduring challenge of forging unity amid diversity. Geopolitics at the Land of Origins is not just a story about borders or alliances. It's a story of resilience, hope, and the struggle between old rivalries and new possibilities. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If this analysis resonated with you, please like, comment your thoughts on the Ethiopia-Eritrea standoff, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue to share thoughtful, in-depth perspectives on the vital stories shaping our world. And don't forget to turn on notifications, because the next chapter in the Horn of Africa's story is already unfolding.